Hi, this video will try to show you a little bit about how to work with library files in Piano Manager. Okay, we're going to start by opening Piano Manager, and I'm going to assume that you have Piano Manager already installed on your PC. And if you want to know what version we are using here, we are using version 1.0.7.0. And if that's not the one you have, don't freak. It just means that this one might be a little newer. You're welcome to it. It's free. But if the one that you already have installed will work for this video, if you want to work along with it, then you don't really need to upgrade until you have some time and want to. I will say this, though, that if you do upgrade, call Infotronics, or one of us can get you the latest version. And the only thing I'll say about that is when you get the latest version, you want to uninstall the version that you currently have and then reinstall the newer version. Okay? So I'm going to assume that you have some version of Piano Manager on your desktop now that will work. And what we're going to do here is work with library files. Library files are unique to the for the extended memory. They're unique to the AccuTuner 4. The AccuTuner 4 has two configurations. One of them is the standard model, and the other is the 980. The 980 and the standard model, the differences are that the 980 just has more user serviceable pages of memory. So all of that is extended memory. So the extended memory will be in banks. There are 6 banks in a 980, and there are basically 2 banks for tunings in the standard model. Okay, I've done a few things here. First of all, though, I'm going to go ahead and I've got my AccuTuner turned on, and I'm going to tell Piano Manager to go make sure that we're connected, and I click the USB and then Find Tuner, and sure enough, the word true came out. So I know that these are talking to each other. And like, again, we're using this version of Piano Manager. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to the AccuTuner and get the tunings that are already in there. Okay, so this is what's in my AccuTuner. Do the same thing with yours. You want to make a backup. So we want to back this file up. But before we back it up, we need to have a little bit of a discussion on file organization. Once you start using memory tunings and working with Piano Manager, you're going to have files. You're going to have tuning files, you're going to have SAT files, you're going to have library files, and it's going to take up space. And they're small, but you're going to have a lot of them for various organizing. So the first thing I would suggest is that you create a folder in your documents, for starters. If you want to put it someplace else, that's fine. But what I've done is I've created a folder in my documents that that I called my AccuTuner stuff folder. Okay, just create that folder, create something similar to it in documents so that you always know where it is. And then within that folder, I've already, to try to speed things up a little bit, I've already moved some files into this folder. But this is the folder that we're going to use to make for these backups and for other things we're going to do during this video. So the first thing we want to do is make a backup. So again, I've USB, found tuner, and now USB. Now I want to get the tunings out of my AccuTuner, and now I want to back them up. So I want to File, Save As, and I want to put all this stuff in the AccuTuner stuff folder. So you will see this folder here, and I need to name it. So this will be today's backup. Okay. And you'll see it's a SAT file. What I just backed up was the lower memory of my AccuTuner. And then this is the 140 pages that contain the special pages. And these are pages on the AccuTuner, pages 1 through 122 that you can use. And then you've got the overpull page and the sequence pages and templates. Yours are going to look a little different through here because I have some sequences that I use, and I've got an overpull thing. But anyway, this is what one looks like. And this is a little different, which is why I'm bringing it up. This is a little different than what you'll have with a library file. Now, library files do not have any of these special pages, so you don't want to try to install a SAT file to the upper memory. It won't work. And also, you don't want, even if this was a library file, it won't work if it has these special pages which do different things. So this is what the SAT backup looks like that we just made. So, but what this video is about is, and all AccuTuners are the same. In fact, the old SAT3s and the SAT2s still worked with a SAT file. And since they didn't have extended memory, all of that was done with the SAT file. But with the extended memory and the expanded capabilities of the AccuTuner 4, the extended memory access and writing and reading is a little bit different. So here's how this works. Again, let's go back over to here. And what I've done is I use a 980, and so I have moved over here a folder that has all the banks that I have in my 980. We'll reference that a little bit later. I've also moved in over a folder that has, these are the tunings that that would go into a standard model, a standard 980. This is not a standard 980, but this will go into a 980 that doesn't have my templates. This would be Randy's tunings, and but not only Randy's, but they also have my tunings in there too. I put 100 or so of my tunings, and I'll show you. I'll open this. Notice these are the library files. That's the LIB. So I'll click on one and show you the difference between a. Okay, that's the wrong one. I'll open Bank 2 because this has both Randy's tunings and some of mine. You can see where they change here. You can see this is a different header altogether, whereas these over here. So you double click on that, and this works just like it does. And I'm using the arrow down key to scroll through some of the tunings, and you can see these are standard FAC partial arrangements with the 6th partial, the 4th partial, 2nd partial, and then the fundamental. So we'll keep scrolling down through these. This is a standard FAC partial arrangement. And now we're going to get pretty close. And this is the partial arrangement that I use. And more on all this later for a different video. I'll talk about it all over my website. But we use the 4th partials from A0 to A4, and then the fundamentals from A#4 all the way up to C8. Okay, so you can see here, this is a library file. And also, let me show you that all the way up to page 140. These are user serviceable. That's not a special page. That is a tuning on page 139. Whereas with a SAT file, that is not a tuning. That's a special page. Okay. So what we have over here in the Potter Con 980 files. One of the differences between the 980 and the standard model is the 980 does no longer has that group of tunings for Inventronics in there that Randy's were in there that are protected. So some technicians, and I think it's only fair to not leave anything out. So I have my templates in mind, but if someone wants the standard Inventronics tunings, we'll put them in the upper memory of their AccuTuner, along with 100 or so of mine that I've put in there that have the different partial arrangements and a little more stretching the treble and that sort of thing. So this is a file, and this other one here is just sort of the same thing twice. That's all. It's got a header sheet, shows you what's in there on these, and you can see this is the header sheet that shows the pages. Again, see these pages start not on page 1, but on 141 in the 980. You have the lower 120, the 1 through 122 is in the lower memory, and that's a much easier thing. But anyway, you can see going up to 441 for those tunings in there. All right, so that's the header sheet. Now let's go back and find that, find our documents. Oh, there's a third one in there I wanted to show you, and that is this is the SAT disk. And you should have got the SAT distributor. That's distribution, is what SAT distribution is, what came with your AccuTuner. And I copied that over onto my computer, so all those files are on my computer. And if you didn't, you can always just go to the disk and you'll find these. But in here you will find Piano Manager, the Piano Manager version that came with your AccuTuner, and you open that up, click on the select, and that will install Piano Manager onto your computer. And these other ones here, the SAT tunings, that group that came with SAT files, and you can click on any of these that have this star. If you don't have Piano Manager installed and you don't have this file associations done yet, you can find out which ones are tunings. The LIB file, LIB SAT file, these are the tuning files. Okay, so you can look at any of these and see what is in there. Now here's the way Potter, the standard 980 looks like when you go to the banks up here. We'll do that later. But they start at 310 and go to 310 at 449. And then they go from 450 to 589. Those are the two banks in the standard AccuTuner that you will see in yours. But over here in this model, you will see banks 1 through 6. Okay, those are some of the differences. All right, but the main file that you're going to be wanting to know where it is this one right here, this extend bin file. And we'll cover that. That is used when writing to the upper memory. But for now, let's just do a little reading. Let's just see what's in the upper memory of my AccuTuner. Okay, back to Find Tuner, Tune. Okay, so we're connected. And then the extra memory, I want to read what is on bank 1. And the way the AccuTuner does this is it doesn't just open them. What it's going to do, I need to name this, okay? So I wanted to read it, so it showed me it's got it, and I need to save it, so it's asking for a name. So let's just call this Bank 1, and then it's a library file, so let's just save it in that folder. Okay, so now if we want to see what it is, see what's in there, File, Open, and hopefully, yes, it took it to the right folder, but it doesn't show all the files. See, it's down here with SAT files. And so we need to see library files. All right, library files, and there we see Bank 1. Now you can see all the templates that are, or my templates that are in this page up to 140. And again, these are yours. I don't know what yours will say on the header line. I know you'll see this 01, 02, 003, and so forth, but you won't see this page 141, page 142 business. That's all part of the header information on my templates. So yours will look different, but the idea is you will not see special pages down here, and you should see 140 pages. All right. So this is what we've just done is we have read the tunings that are in Bank 1 of my AccuTuner, and we stored it as a file called Bank 1, and then we opened Bank 1. Okay, so we're in here, and we took them out of the AccuTuner, and then we saved the file. It's called Bank 1, and then I opened Bank 1, and that's what we're looking at here. Let's do that again. Okay, extra memory. Let's see what's on Bank 2. Extra memory. And I want to read what's on Bank 2. Okay, Bank 2. Let's call it, let's name it. There we go. Let's name it Bank 2. Okay, let me save it. And that's all there is to that. And now you see it showed up here. And File, Open, Bank 2. And it's corrupted. Okay. Let's see if we can fix that now. I don't know if we'll be able to, but this kind of corruption happens every now and then. So don't freak out. It's fixable. And I don't know if I'll get it the first time, but we'll see. Okay, these are my headers. These are my templates here. And let's see if we can, let's make sure that this one's good. Okay, Bank 2 is good here. So let's see if I can, extra memory, and I want to send library to Bank 2, and let's go over here to Bank 2, and then here's where see we're writing. You see this little extend bin? It is going to need this extend bin in order to write. Okay, so it says it's done. So now let's read from what is on Bank 2. So read library of Bank 2. Okay, I don't want to put it in there, so let's move up a folder. This second Bank 2. Oops. Okay, now let's see if we can just open Bank 2 and what we get. Okay, see, it fixed it. So every now and then this kind of thing will happen. Don't worry about it, but you should know that it will do this from time to time. And I don't know why really, but sometimes it gets really clean and it works just fine. Other times it requires a little bit of finagling. I will tell you this though, most of the time depending on how you're using the upper memory, I don't change my templates at all up there. So once my templates are up there, I don't really have to do much to the upper memory. And as far as installing the Potter tunings and my tunings, that covers almost 450 pages. So plus you've got the 122. So most of the time, I don't do that much work tuning and storing tunings to the upper memory. Most of the time I'm doing all that in the lower memory, but you can see how I was able to fix this, and it's not a freak out, and we are backed up. We have files, and we did make a backup earlier. So anyway, that's how you would read this and write to the AccuTuner. Okay, let's go ahead and open this here file, and let's open it from a different place. Okay, second bank. Let's see if it'll see. So either way, it's good. And over here, let's read what's on bank or page 1. Oh, a quick little bit of fun here. If you want to copy some tunings from one, well, let's open something else that might make it easier to see. I want to open one of these Potter files. Okay, see, these are quite different. Let's say you wanted to add these 4 tunings somewhere up in the bald ones. I don't care. Anyway, so I just click on the page number, and you see I've got it right there. So I put it right up over here in number 9. I make it number 10, and I release, and you see there are my templates inserted. Now they have been added. They didn't replace these tunings. They got inserted. So as you will see over here, instead of having 140 tunings, it has 144. Well, you can't just that tuning when it was if it were to be installed in Piano Manager, you'd lose those 4 here. I think that's the way it would work. But anyway, it inserted. It didn't replace. So I'm going to go ahead and make it easy on me right now, and I'm just going to highlight those, and I'm going to use the delete key on the keyboard, and that takes care of those. You're back to 140. So that's the way you just open up 2 instances of these Piano Manager, and that's how you copy and paste and delete and do finagling, whatever you want to do to customize your Piano Manager files. Okay, so let's go back. I want to read again what is on my, make sure that Bank 1 of my AccuTuner is good. So I'm going to read Bank 1. And of course, it'll ask me, see, it's reading it now, and then I have to save it. So I don't want to put it there. So let's how about second bank? Let's call this second bank 1. Okay. Now let's look at it. Okay, open second bank 1. See, my templates are good there. And let's read another one. Read bank 3. Again, I'll have to name it. So this will be second bank 3. All right, so there's another save. Now see, it's adding these files over here. So file, open, second bank 3. See, oops, corruption. Okay, good. I wonder if it corrupted all of them. Let's, like I say good, not because it's corrupted, but just because it'll show you how we can get past some of these little things that might happen to you. Okay, let's send. Okay, let me first of all go over here and make sure my third group is good. It is. My second bank is good. Yes, it is. And my first bank is good. See, this is off the files. These are my backup files, so I've got them. Okay, those are in. Is 4 good? 4 is good. Okay. So over here, I'm going to go back up. The second bank was good. Yes. And the first bank was good. Yes. It's this third bank that is corrupted. Right. Okay. So let's, just for fun, let's go ahead and restart Piano Manager. Let's get a fresh version of that. Okay, and I'm going to open up a clean file. So File, Open, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the one we, well, we need library files. Okay, we want Bank 3, and it's in good shape. So I want, and also USB, the tuner's on, so we should be able to find the tuner. It does. So let's read. No, I want to send. I want to send to Bank 3. And I want to send this one. Yes, okay, 3. Let's try this. Now, see, this will ask me for that extend again. And this extend file you want to have scattered all over your machine, wherever you have library files, because it will ask for that. You will need to know where that is. Okay, so now I'm assuming my third bank is correct. Now, I can always go to the AccuTuner and restart the AccuTuner and then look on Bank 3, because it'll show corruption in there too if it's on there. But let's do it here through Piano Manager. Okay, extra memories, and I want to read what's on Bank 3. Okay, I don't want to put it in there. I want to keep that folder kind of clean. Okay, so this would be Bank 3, read again. Whatever you want, just something I know it's the latest one. Okay, so now File, Open. Oh, I have to go to the library files. Read again, Bank 3. See, there it is, it fixed it. Okay, so freaking out is not necessary. Believe me, I freaked the first couple of times as I was learning how to do this. But anyway, once you get your files up there, chances are you'll just be using them to tune or to do whatever. And also this will work if you decide you want my templates. I'll be happy to send them to you if you want to get involved in the system that I use. All these can be sent via an email. It's a real small file. Okay, now one other thing that I want to do, remember we made a backup earlier. Remember today's backup? Well, let's first of all, let's go back to USB and find tuner, make sure we're connected. Now let's use USB and let's get the tunings out of our AccuTuner on the pages 1 to 123. It's clean. It's working pretty well. There have been a couple of times when I've had corruption in the first 30 pages. Now, I don't know, I've been told that that's normal, but this seems to be working, so I don't know why. It used to give me some funny files, but this is why you made a backup, because if you had a backup, today's backup, see, this is just what was in there when we started. Okay, so that is a bit on how to work with library files in Piano Manager. The key to this is this extend file that you will need whenever you write, and you can find that in the firmware. And by the way, be careful. This is probably the latest firmware. When you get the firmware for your AccuTuner, if you want to update your own firmware using the updater program, which is also in here. The updater is right here. So this is how you'd use the updater program. You install it, and then you pick the firmware for it, and then you install from there. But you have to be careful, because the older ones, the SAT4X and the 5X and so forth, and these for the different size screens and also the different boards. So if you do end up needing to upgrade the firmware in your AccuTuner, call call Limitronics, and with the serial number they will tell you which one of these will be correct and which one of these is installed or you need to use if there's an updated one. You can go from there. Okay, and what else is in here? All right, so your manuals are in here, and manuals for Piano Manager, and so forth. Okay, we're done. Hey, thanks. Bye.